Next, I'd like to welcome Dwayne Nathan Jack. He's going to be talking about the identity upgrade. Dwayne is a British transformational leader, speaker, and award-winning societal entrepreneur.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I said hello, everyone.
Hello.
What a lovely day it is today to be alive on planet Earth. 2025, we're here, every single one of us. That's right. And we're fortunate that we're here to have the breath. Taste it. Touch it. We're alive. Some never had their last breath. Some just had their last breath. But we're here to live, to breathe, to communicate, and build relations. So before I go any further, can you just put your hands together for Simone, for arranging us lovely people coming together? And for the amazing speakers, their stories, that there's so many similarities within stories that whether you're male, female, it doesn't matter what walk, but the similarities of those stories that touch us as individuals. So put your hands together for the speakers that just spoke, please. And before I go any further, just to make sure that you're with me, I'm going to check in now and then, because obviously I'm going to go through a lot of information, share a bit about my story, but however, I'm going to check in now and then to make sure you're with me. You're not in the past or the future, you're here with me. And when I ask if you're with me, I'm going to say, are you with me? If you can just say A, so I know that you're with me. Are you with me? A. And I may say something that you've been through, going through, or of experience, and there's going to be a connection, just to let me know there's that connection when I share that piece of information. Just give me an AA. So there was a homeless guy in a subway. He'd been there for almost 20 years, sitting in the subway, begging. Poor me. Every time someone come, he'd put his victim face on. The world and everything outside of him has done him something. That's why he's in that situation. Poor me. All of a sudden, along comes a banker. The banker comes walking past. The beggar goes, please, sir, can you spare me some change? The banker said, sorry, I've only got card. But what's that box you're sitting on? He goes, nothing. It's just an old box. My dad left me before he died. So along went the banker about his business. Later on that day, the beggar was there counting all his shrapnel, feeling sorry for himself. Poor me. But he remembered what the banker said. As he remembered what the banker said, he started looking at the box that his dad left him before he died. As he's looking at it, he became present. He became conscious in the power of now. As he looked, there was a catch. He flicked the catch. The box popped open. There was antique gold coins in there, worth millions. He'd been sitting on them his whole life, but just didn't discover until the banker pointed out. I used to be the beggar before the banker pointed out to me, and I discovered my treasure. It wasn't the coins. It was the power within. But today I'm here to point at every single one of you and say, you have the same power within, the same power that I managed to discover. So let me take you back before I discovered that power. I grew up on a council estate, single parent family, witnessing domestic violence. I become a problem. My mum would beat me, abuse me. My dad left, new wife, new life. So I think she saw my dad in me and aired it out on me. And so from a very young age, I was abused, told that I was a little this, that, and the other, and I had behavioural problems. She'd call social services up and say, take the little. So then I was in the care of the local authority, from foster care to children's homes. By the time I was 13 years old, I was a menace to society. They put me in Slough Magistrates Court and then gave me 8-month DTO. Raise your hand if you know what DTO is. Go on, Emma. You should know.
Detention and training level.
That's right, a detention and training, a prison for children at 13 years old because I become a menace of society. From 13 to 29 years old, I was in and out of prison. I've been stabbed, shot, chopped in my head with a machete and told that I would never walk again because I was paralyzed from the neck down. And the surgeon said that he's got a fractured skull bleeding to the brain. He'll never walk again. But through the grace of God, I'm here to tell my story and give him the glory. So, thank you ever so much. So did that stop me? No, it never, because of the program that had me driven by my childhood trauma, continued for years, being stabbed, shot, prison for the majority of my life. And then in 2012, I had a light bulb moment. I had been through every religion under the sun. I'd been in my cell, I'd go to the mosque, I'd go to the chapel, I'd go to the Buddhist, I'd go to the self-help section of the library, but nothing was taking away this pain and this behavior. And all of a sudden in 2012, I prayed out to God. And when I prayed out, I'm in my prison cell now. I was vibrating from head to toe. The only feeling that I can explain is pure ecstasy because I've took every drug under the sun. I was vibrating from head to toe in pure light. And through this light, this feeling, I woke up the next day. I must have been watching Hollyoaks or EastEnders later on in the day. And I thought, what's this nonsense I'm watching on the TV? I unplugged the TV, I put it by the cell door. In the morning, I gave it to the prison officers. Now I'm meditating in my cell with no TV, with books and getting to know myself. I stopped swearing, gambling, A, B, and C. Long story short, probation said, what are you going to do when you get out, Dwayne? I said, I'm going to get a job. She said, what if you don't get one? I said, I'll create one. I got out, I got a job. I was working for a banker. He had me picking daffodils out of his garden. And you know, the ones where you make a wish? He had me picking these out of his garden, the Mel B's old place in Little Marlow. And you have to be a yes man before you become a boss man. I was 29 years old. I had my own children and he had me packing daffodils, digging the mud over there, putting it over there, and on Saturday putting it back over there. But it doesn't matter. You have to be a yes man before you become a boss man. There's a process of life. I didn't look at the banker and think I'm chucking the towel in. No, I looked at it. I was life humbling me for the journey ahead. So I said, yes, boss. Long story short, I ended up in a children's home senior position. I'm not telling you this stuff to boast, to glamorize. I'm showing you how you can activate the power within and create any possibility and reality within your life. So I was in a children's home, senior position, with the keys, and all the kids are in bed, and I'm still on prison license. How do you do that? Then I thought I need to get into the prisons. I got into the prisons doing youth work, but I never went in there to do youth work. I went in there to do military work with all the young traumatized children that are getting in trouble, the byproduct of the behavior from the trauma. So I was in the prison. And then I said to Lucy, because I weren't in there to play games in the classroom, I was in there to do military work. So I said to Lucy in education, I'm going to hand my notice in now. She said, Dwayne, don't hand your notice. You've got nothing to fall back on. I said, Lucy, I live by faith, not by sight. Being sure of what I hope for and certain of what I do not see yet. I handed my notice in. 2 days later, I see Glenn Knight, the #1 governor, in the gym. I flew up to him. He said, come in and do a presentation. I'd done in a presentation with the #1 governor. He shook my hand on the contract, and I ended up doing 4 years in the prison, walking around the prison with keys, getting contracts with Ministry of Justice, DWP, then went into the community and started getting contracts with the council, and my team were like social workers that will be able to engage the disengage within my community. Anyway, that's enough of me now. That's what I was managed to achieve through discovering the power within and executing within the country, within society, and now globally recognized for the work that I'm doing within education, A, B, and C. But that's enough of me now, because it's all about you guys. That's why I'm here. I've sacrificed myself from 2012, and it's all about serving others, because as I serve others, I'm serving me. But the reality is, and the illusion is, there is no other. There is only the I, but different fragments of the I. And here we are in our beautiful different fragments. So I'm going to pull it over to you now, guys. Basically, guys, there's two ways. There's two directions you can go in life. There's two directions. And I'm literally looking for directions. Are you with me? Are you with me? So, ladies and gents, there's two directions someone can go in life, and I'm literally looking for directions. Yeah. It's not a trick question, directions. So I'm looking for two directions. What direction is that someone can go in life? They can either go or in life, literally. So the two direction.
The straight up.
Yeah, the straight. It's not straight, but if it was you talking directions now, what would it be?
Down. We don't know about one.
Up or down. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there we go. So up and down. So if there's two directions in life, there's up and there's down. What would we say is down then? What do we say is down? If there's two directions someone can go in life. Pardon? Disempower. Yeah,
Depression.
yeah, depression. So what if we go deep diving and go down? What would where would we say that is? So if we go final destination. Suicide, death. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so death. So if there's two directions, you go up, you can go down. Yeah. What would you say? What would the other one be? Where did I spend the majority of my life? In prison. Yes. What would you describe prison as? If you was to describe prison to someone, hellhole. Yeah. There's no right or wrong now. We're in dialogue. So hellhole, contained. Yeah. Incarcerated. Yeah.
Prison, do they? How they did it built?
Yeah. No. If you was to explain prison to someone, what would you explain? Some of the loss of control, loss of liberty, loss of control, freedom. Do you think that there's people that are out here in the community society that are in prison?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So exactly. So could you explain a little on that?
Mental prison is
Mental
prison.
You've done it before, haven't you? Yeah. The mental prison. So do you believe there's people that are in prison that are free?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're in agreement with me that prison isn't a location, bars or window. Prison is a state of mind.
Yes.
Because the last couple of years when I spent my last prison sentence, I was spiritually, psychologically free. Yeah. From the inside out. So I was walking around, I was locked up in prison. I was more happier than the officers that go home because I was internally, spiritually free. So we're in agreement. We know what's down. Down is death or prison, whether it's psychologically, spiritually, A, B, and C. So what would we say that's up, people? What would we say? So we've got two directions you can go in life. Here we are. What would we say is up?
Freedom. Yeah, freedom.
Freedom. What does that look like? Let's get our paintbrush up and just create it. Success. What does success look like? So achievement. So if you won the lottery, what would you buy first?
A house.
House. Yes, that's it. Go on, keep going. There's no right or wrong. House, car, all that glittery stuff. But it doesn't make you happy. Half of the people that are working with now.
Joy goes enough, like while having it. If you have the house and then your car or whatever, and you don't, you feel empty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I work with some of the wealthiest people. They have the businesses, they have all this good stuff, but inside, they're not happy. There's not an alignment. There's outer success, but then there's inner success. And if you've got the outer success without the inner success and the inner riches, then you're falling short. So that's right, all the glittery stuff, this doesn't mean success. This is a byproduct of that success, right? So what determines whether this person goes up or down? What determines their mindset? What do they need to do before they go that way or that way? What do they need to make?
Choices.
Choices. What do you do before you make a choice? You think. That's right. You think about it. Before you make a decision or choice, you got to think about it. Okay. What do you think comes first? Emotions, feelings, or thoughts?
Emotions.
Okay. Bear with me. Be present, like the guy, the beggar. When the banker come, he become conscious when he looked at the box. What do you think comes first? Emotions, feelings, or thoughts?
Of course.
Yeah, I said it now. What do you think comes first? Yes. And then what comes after thoughts? Feelings.
Yes.
Feelings. And then emotions. Take E away from emotions. What are you left with? And then what is motion? What is motion? Behavior, movement. Yeah? So if you're not feeling right, what do you need to change? Your thoughts. Because your thoughts create your feelings, your feelings create your emotions, and your emotions is your behavior. Yes? So, if your thoughts create your feelings create your emotions is the driving force of your behavior, what you can see, what we can all see, taste and touch. But your feelings is a vibrational frequency. It's electronic, it's magnetic. What did you put into your vehicle for those that drive before you came yesterday? Fuel. Yes. Petrol, diesels. What do you put into a Tesla? Electric. What's making me move now? Energy. Electricity.
Your organs.
That's right. Electronic. So every day, every night, when we go to sleep, there's electricity that's been beating this heart every day for the week. But here we go. Here's where the physics is. What would happen if that supply cut off? I died. Every single one of us. The birds, the bees, and the the air. But it's not just air. Because this stuff that we breathe in, yes, there's air, but it's it's magnetic as well. I call it the universal ocean. The universal ocean will govern the earth, the planet, the birds, the trees. It's intelligent, it's information, it governs everything, it's power, and it gives us life. This is the expression of me, Dwayne Nathan Jack. That's my name, that's my shell, but inside of me is the same stuff that's inside of every single one of us, right? So, before I woke up out of my coma in 2012, I was controlled by my subconscious because I wasn't conscious. The minute I became conscious, I become aware that my behaviors, my thoughts, my feelings was ending up in a prison cell for all those years. Then I become super conscious. Then I realize my thoughts create my feelings create my emotions is behavior. However, that I'm an electromagnetic force and all my thoughts are creating my realities. So now I'm meditating in my prison cell and then I'll go to education. So I'll go to education and I've written Mel's number down, my wife's number down on a bit of paper. Written a number down, abused the phone, love you, bye. I've gone to education. And now a gentleman has come up to me as I'm speaking to someone. I said, I've got something for you. I said, okay. I'll come and see you in a minute. He said, come to the library. So I've gone into the library. He's given me a book. This. And I thought, the 7 Spiritual Laws of Superhero. Wow. I'm sure I asked my wife to order me this about 2 weeks ago. Who's the author? Deepak Chopra. Wow! I asked my wife to order me this 2 weeks prior. This stranger's just come and give me and said, I don't know what it was. I just thought of you because he's seen me facilitating courses, but I've come into his mind because we're all connected and he's come and handed me the book. He doesn't know. So I'm talking about synchronicity, signs, divine, this, that. He's looking at me like I'm crazy, that I need medication. The officers are looking at me like I'm crazy. And all of a sudden, I've gone into the classroom. I sat down with a book thinking, wow, can't wait to get back to myself. But as I'm sitting and I look, Deepak Chopra, where did I write that down in my cell? On the pad. Huh? The same pad that I wrote Mel's number down that morning. Can you flick that again for me, please? That's in my pocket. The strangers just come and give me it. I wrote Mel's number down that morning. It was already on there. So now I'm starting to pick up on the signs. The more conscious I am of my thoughts, feelings, and emotions, the more the universal ocean is providing me with the circumstances, situations, and events. So we have to become conscious of our feelings because the feeling is the language to the universal ocean. So if you're not feeling good, then guess what's going to happen? That's what's going to present to you. So we've got to become conscious of all times of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because that is the language. How do you build a relationship with someone? Connection. What are we doing now? Communicating. The language to the universal ocean is your feelings. Yeah, capital letters, feelings, 3 times. You know when something goes wrong in the morning, and then something goes wrong by midday, and then something goes wrong by what do they say it comes in?
Raised.
It doesn't come in 3. We need to eliminate that from our vocabulary. It doesn't. It comes in frequencies. Because the minute the first thing went wrong, if you become conscious that you change your internal dialogue, guess what? The second thing and the third thing isn't going to go wrong. The only reason the second thing and the third thing, because someone will go, this happened to me, you tell the story to somebody else, and then you're still on that vibrational frequency. You're not talking about solutions, you're still talking about the problem, so more problems come your way. But now we're conscious, the next time someone goes through something uncomfortable, and sometimes the uncomfortable thing that may come our way, we may think, oh, why me? But sometimes life provides that to you in your life to enable you to evolve and initiate snakes and ladders and go up. Maybe you need to learn that lesson one more time, because we find ourselves going through that same situation multiple times. It's more data, it's more wisdom for us to go up. How many times did it take me to stop going to prison? But eventually it happened. So the wisdom that I had through all those experiences enabled me to be the character I am today to serve the people within my community, society, and globally. So if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, even if it is uncomfortable, because it's the uncomfortableness that enables us to grow, develop, to serve our people in society. So there we go. Right, how did I get into prison? A prisoner for all 17 years in that prison. How did Dwayne Nathan Jack end up walking around prison with a set of keys and access to a national offender management system of the whole country? How do you do that? Dwayne Nathan Jack. I sat in the car park before this coming to my reality. I drove to Feltham. I sat in the car. I closed my eyes. I done my breathing. And I sat there for 20 minutes. And in my imagination, someone was showing me around. The sun was coming through. I caught the sun on the bath, coming through the bath, showing me around. And then I drove home. As I drove home, as if I'm actually driving home now for my meditation, I actually, every night before I went to sleep, I close my eyes, I imagine, as if it already is, every morning and 3 times a day. Why? Because it don't come in 3, it comes in frequencies. 3 times a day, I sat there, create the frequency, then all of a sudden, I got into the prison and then got contracts with the Ministry of Justice. I was one of the first people to be charged with a mobile phone in prison 10 years ago, and now the same prison that I'm walking around with a set of keys, my local prison, the people used to groom and exploit me as a child, and I do crime and now I'm walking onto the wing with keys. They're looking like they've seen a ghost. Yes, there's no difference between me and you. I just obviously was able to implement this information to enable me to be where I am today and execute and serve people in the way humanity needs serving. We've been taught from the logical side of the mind, the logical side that math 2 + 2 is 4. But I'm here to tell you today that we are infinite powerful beings and able to create possibilities and realities beyond what you've been taught from your school, uni, mum, dad, and generation. And I'm here today to lift up the consciousness of humanity so we can eliminate and reduce pain, suffering, and misery, because it was only through that pain that I went through to enable me to be here today to deliver this stuff. So that's all good, isn't it? That's the good stuff. But is life as easy as that? No, it's not. Why? Because the enemy within. The enemy within, I call him my man. My man. I call him my man. Guess what my man done to me the other week? I said to myself, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to go gym. Right up in the morning, I'm going to go gym. I'll get everything ready. Yeah, you know the ones you get everything prepared. You're telling yourself, yeah, you're going to do this. And then all of a sudden, guess what? The alarm went 4:44. My man said to me, have a rest. you've been all week. Your muscles repair when we rest. And I thought, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we just knew. And then I thought, wait there a minute. I ain't been all week. I never went on Monday or Wednesday. And I got up, I flew to the gym, I had an amazing session. If I never met this person that was at the gym, if I never went, I wouldn't have met him. I thought, who was that voice? He told me a truth. It told me a lie. I call that voice my man. Yeah? And my man is out to lie, rob, kill, steal, and destroy. I'm not going to say we're the next trappers or drillers, yeah? But I'm saying we could then tell our boss or whoever it is, I can't come in on a Saturday because I'm not feeling up to it, I'm ill. Then we go to the festival. Our boss's daughter sees us at the festival. He's all about principles. So he goes, now you come in on the Monday, you get fired because your boss is all about principles. Your boss is all light. Life will present the people to you to enable you to learn lessons, despite how much it may hurt. So when we talk about lie, kill, steal, it could be the smallest lie, but that could kill your dreams, that could put you into depression, that can go A, B, and C. So that's to the extreme that it could kill our dreams, kill us, our souls within our body. So there we go. It's all about, you can't get rid of my man, you can only manage my man. Yeah, because it's always there. But the more higher frequency you go on, the less of attack it can come under. You see the Matrix? When he goes like that to the bullets, stops them. That's what happens when you become more conscious. The things that bothered you yesterday won't bother you anymore, and then you initiate and go even higher. So here we go. There we go. We're going up here. There's our communication to the universal ocean. The more powerful we are, the more our dreams, our desires come. And the more authentic our heart is. Remember I said before, the posture of the heart with gratitude, because we can say we're thankful for something. But underneath, if we haven't got that gratitude when we're on our own and we're walking in the morning and we're walking down the street talking to ourselves. I walk and talk to myself all the time. The guy's looking at me, thinking that, because I've got no ear things in, and I'm talking. I said, no, I'm talking to myself. He's smiling at that. I said, I get more sense there. But that's the thing. It's about consciously walking and talking to yourself. Because if you're not talking to yourself, guess what? You're probably unconscious. Yeah? You're unconscious. And the unconscious is running from the subconscious. And the subconscious is the program of what we learned yesterday, the year before that. So all my childhood trauma and the stuff that I went through as a child, being told I was this, being told was that. I remember I was 15 years old in a prison cell, reading Louise Hay, looking in the mirror, saying, I love you, Dwayne. I love you. But guess what? All them years of repetition, all of a sudden, I got to love Dwayne. And I didn't need any external mum, dad. Even now, it's still not there. But there's that universal, that inner love, whatever you want to call it. And that's unconditional love for yourself to enable you to love everyone else outside of you. But if we don't love ourselves, how can we love someone else? If we don't respect ourselves, how can we respect someone else? So it's all about the self. And we're not talking about the lower self, because the lower self wants to indulge in everything under the sun. But when we indulge in everything under the sun, where comes pleasure, comes pain. My teacher used to call me Dwayne the Pain. He was prophesying on me. But I welcomed it, because if it wasn't for the pain, I wouldn't have the purpose. There we go. So here we go. If we chase everything under the sun, we go down here. Look. Low frequency. See this one? High frequencies. Life's working for and through. It's a magnet. Life, the people, the circumstances, situation is working for. Here, there's more frustration. Nothing's going right. Taking things personal. Carrying all this energy, and all of a sudden, it's go down. What do you think this person thinks of this person? Life flowing for them, A, B, and C. This one's frustrated, A, B, and C. jealousy, envy, and this is the nature of life. The moral of the story, you might as well be transparent. This is the nature of life, and sometimes the person, you might not even understand why the person does not like you, A, B, and C, because it's not even psychologically, it's vibrationally, spiritually, and you might have people that's trying to be like you, do what you're doing, wear the same skirt, A, B, and C, but it's not the skirt, it's the vibrational within inside the being. And this is this part of life. So that's that. But when I was working in prison, there's young boys and they used to do football and stuff. And I said, right, it's like this. You've got a football tournament for Tottenham. Saturday, you've got to go to this scouts. Yeah, he could get signed for Tottenham football team. His friend calls him on Friday. I said, come, there's a party, there's a house party. Come, come, come. He knows he can't ask his mum and dad because if he could, then they say no. He sneaks out, he goes to the party. And his friend knows he's got the trials. Say, here, I'll do some drink. Have some drink. I'll bet you £20 a cup. Drink all that. And there's girls there. Whoop, whoop. Goom, 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 goom. He drinks it. He gets alcohol poison. He's getting sick. He goes hospital. They put him on a drip. He don't go to his trials for Tottenham now. His friend knew got the trials. Was that his friend? No, it wasn't. It was his Agent Smith. Yeah? I call these people Agent Smith. I call them Agent Smith. They come in all shapes and sizes. They come in all shapes and sizes, and you obviously have your own lives, A, B, and C. However, I had Agent Smiths. They come through my family, they come through A, B, and C, and I had to eventually learn the lessons to safeguard and minimize risks to enable me to get to where I am to today. So you've got to discern managing my man, your internal my man. Then you've got to be aware and discern who's Agent Smiths and then reduce the risk, because life is a business. Your life is a business and it's minimizing risk to enable you to meet destiny. And then I've done everything under the sun. I was smoking crack at 13, I've done heroin, I've done every single drug under the sun, and I was a problem. So my kryptonite was alcohol and drugs. What happens to Superman when he's in kryptonite?
That's weak.
Yeah, what else?
This is Pado's spot.
I'm on my supper now. She's been naughty. She's saying she's cool, she's free. Yeah. Superman loses his power for the kryptonite. I ask you the question. I don't need you to answer me. What is your kryptonite? Who are your Agent Smiths? And we know who my man is because they might say my man. But depending, the higher the frequency you are, Agent Smiths, my mans, they can't come into your aura because it's too powerful. It's too much light. There's too much to understand. So that is the I am way. And then you've got your imagination creates vibration. Visualization creates vibration. With intention is vibration. So before you start your day, if you have that part of your ritual that you will do your prayers, and just to crash the narrative of religion, yeah, because that's what I'm here to do, to crash and own. I used to obviously go to church and pray and A, B, and C, but what I realized, the prayer isn't in the lip service. That's the overflow of the heart, is on the tip of a man's tongue. It's the heart, the vibrational frequency is the language, is the prayer. So it's the feeling that's the prayer. And we are continually praying every single day and night as we speak here now. If I chuck a stone in the pond, what do you see? Rip roar prayer. You go to the hospital, they put the thing on your finger, beep, 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 beep. They're reading this. This is the language that goes into the universal ocean, and the universal ocean will give you what you're feeling. That's why it says in the great books, treat others how you'd like to be treated. Do unto others how you like to be. Why? Because there is no other. There is only one. So when I do A or B, it's already done to you. It's already done. And then when you become subconscious, you realize I'm not going to harm or say or do anything to anyone because that is already done unto me. So now you'll become a servant to serve everyone because then you're serving yourself. And that's the thing of life. So just before I round up last one, there's another banker. This banker, he's got all the money, he's working in the city, and he had a dream that he wanted a farm. One come along that was out of his budget, but he took it anyway. So he bought the farm. Once he bought the farm, he realized, wow, I ain't got no cattle. So then he saw there was a farm right up the road with loads of cattle. So he's gone there and he's knocked on the door and he introduced himself that he bought the farm up the road, and he said he needed to buy a cow at least. He goes, okay, how much money you got? He goes, $500. You won't get one like that, you won't. You won't get one for that, you won't. But I tell you what, he goes, he's got an old one up there that he can have. So as he's gone up, he showed him the cow. He said, can you bring it down to his land? He prepped a bit and put the gate on for Saturday. So then on Saturday, the banker's sitting there eating his breakfast. The bell's gone. It's the farmer with the cow. He's gone to the door. As he's gone to the door, he's opened the door. Happy, he's pointed over to where to put the cow. He goes, I've got some bad news. He goes, the cow died on the way over. He goes, oh, don't worry about it, just give me my money back. Don't work out like that, it don't work out like that. He goes, I've had it for the week and it don't work out. He goes, okay, no trouble. Just put the cow over there. So as he's put the cow over there, 3 weeks later, the banker's gone back to the same farmer to buy another cow, a younger one this time. He's knocked on the door. He said, yeah. He goes, you want to come and pick one now? You can pick the youngest one there. He goes, what did you do? As they were walking, what did you do? Did you win the lottery? Because obviously you said you went out of your budget buying the land. He goes, no. He goes, well, what did you do? Find an oil rig on your land? He goes, no. I sold your cow. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I sold your cow. I done a raffle in the local paper. I sold 500 tickets, $10 each. So he said, well, what happened when the winner come for the cow? I gave him his £10 back and told him the cow died. It's not what life presents to you. It's how you respond to life. Thank you ever so much.